The laundry room aboard the Celestial Drift had never been designed for chaos. It was a small, utilitarian, space-efficient, sterile, and meant for one person at a time. Elara Wynn had claimed it as her sanctuary during the long voyage. A place where she could fold her clothes in peace while the hum of the ship's engines lulled her into a meditative rhythm. Today, however, peace was a distant memory. "Rock, that's not how you fold a shirt," Elara said, her voice strained with the effort of maintaining patience. She stood at the folding table, a wrinkled thermal undershirt in her hands, watching as the small orange-furred cub wrestled with a pair of cargo pants twice his size. Rock looked up at her, his large amber eyes gleaming with pride. His tail flicked behind him, a sign of excitement among his species, the Varksha predatory race known across the galaxy for their hunting prowess and fierce independence. Cubs, however, were another matter entirely. "I am folding," Rock chirped, his voice high-pitched and insistent. He grabbed one leg of the pants and yanked it toward himself, bunching the fabric into a lopsided ball. "See? Small now." Elara pressed her lips together, fighting the smile that threatened to break free. That's balling, not folding." "Same thing," Rock declared. He tossed the balled-up pants onto the growing pile behind him, a chaotic mountain of clothes that had once been neatly sorted. 3 other Varkash cubs scrambled around the pile, their claws clicking against the metal floor as they grabbed at sleeves and socks, adding to the disorder with enthusiastic glee. This was supposed to be a simple favor. Commander Thale, the ship's Varkash officer, had asked Elara to watch his cubs for a few hours while he attended a diplomatic meeting with the Andromedan Council. "They're very well behaved," he'd assured her. "Just keep them entertained." Entertained, right. "Miss Elara." Another cub called out, a smaller one with midnight blue fur named Kiss. She held up a sock, her tiny claws puncturing small holes in the fabric. "What is this for?" "It's shaped wrong." "It's a sock," Elara explained, crouching down to Kiss's level. "Humans wear them on their feet." Kiss's ears flattened against her head in confusion. "Why? To keep our feet warm. And protected. But you have no claws," Kiss observed, tilting her head. "How do you hunt without claws?" We don't really hunt anymore," Elara said carefully. "We use tools." "Tools?" Rock's voice boomed from across the room. He'd abandoned the pants and was now standing atop the clothes pile like a conqueror surveying his domain. "Humans are weak. Father says humans are soft prey that learn to think." Elara raised an eyebrow. "Your father said that?" "Yes. He says humans are the strangest species because you are prey, but you act like predators." Rock puffed out his small chest, clearly proud of his father's assessment. Elara couldn't help but laugh. The Varkash viewed the galaxy through a binary lens: predator or prey. Humans, with their lack of natural weapons and relatively fragile bodies, had been classified as prey when first contact was made. It had taken decades of proving themselves through ingenuity, resilience, and sheer stubbornness for humanity to earn a modicum of respect. And yet, here she was, babysitting predator cubs who thought folding laundry was a competitive sport. "All right," Elara said, standing up and clapping her hands together. "New rule. Whoever can fold the most clothes properly wins a prize." The cubs froze, 4 pairs of eyes locked onto her. "Prize?" Rock asked, his tail going rigid with interest. "What kind of prize?" Kiss demanded. Elara reached into her pocket and pulled out a small bag of honeyed nuts, a human snack she'd been saving for herself. The room erupted. The cubs scrambled toward the pile, each grabbing at clothes with renewed fervor. Rock dove headfirst into the mountain, sending shirts and pants flying in every direction. Kiss snatched up a towel and tried to mimic the folding technique she'd seen Elara use, her small tongue poking out in concentration. The other 2 cubs, Taran and Jex, worked together, though their definition of folding involved more tugging and growling than actual technique. Elara watched the chaos unfold, her chest tightening with suppressed laughter. This was a disaster. An adorable, furry, well-meaning disaster. "Rock, you're just making it worse," she said as the cub emerged from the pile with a jacket draped over his head like a cape. "I'm helping," he insisted, his muffled voice full of conviction. "You're really not." But Rock didn't hear her. He was too busy climbing back onto the pile, raising his tiny arms in triumph. I am the king of Clothes Mountain, Kiss growled at him. You can't be king. I folded more. You folded one towel, Rock shot back. That's more than you. Elara sighed, running a hand through her hair. She should have known better. Varkesh cubs didn't understand competition the way humans did for them. Everything was a matter of dominance, even laundry. She stepped forward, gently lifting Rock off the pile. Okay, everyone did great. You all get a prize. The cubs froze again, their ears perking up in unison. Really? Kiss asked, suspicion creeping into her voice. Really, Elara confirmed. She opened the bag of honeyed nuts and distributed them evenly, watching as the cubs' aggression melted into contented chewing. For a moment the room was quiet. Then Rock looked up at her, his amber eyes soft. You are a good teacher, Miss Elara. Elara's heart squeezed. Thanks, Rock. Even if you're a prey, he added, matter-of-factly. She laughed a genuine, full-bodied laugh that echoed off the metal walls. Yeah, even if I'm prey. Kiss tugged on Elara's sleeve. Will you teach us more human things? Maybe, Elara said, glancing at the mountain of unfolded clothes. But next time we're starting with something easier. Like what? Taran asked. Elara grinned. Like teaching you why humans don't climb on furniture. The cubs exchanged glances, their tails flicking in unison, a silent agreement that they would absolutely continue climbing on furniture. As Commander Thale returned later that evening, he found Elara sitting amidst the chaos, the cubs curled up around her like a litter of sleepy kittens. The laundry remained unfolded, piled haphazardly in the corner. I see they were well behaved, Thale said, a hint of amusement in his gravelly voice. Elara looked up at him, exhausted but smiling. They tried to help, and? They made a pile instead. Thale chuckled, a deep, rumbling sound. That is the Varkesh way. Elara glanced down at Rock, who was snoring softly against her leg. Yeah, I'm starting to figure that out, and despite the mess, despite the chaos, she wouldn't have traded the afternoon for anything.